Tell you who she's just like somebody we know very well. So, whew, Lord, she don't give her that break. I know.
Here's the lowdown on Melody She's latest hit T, which is, believe me, hotter than ever. The tumultuous past of Melody and her ex-husband Martell Hole was made even stranger when it was reported that Martell was getting close to Shay Whitfield from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This isn't your typical VC new girlfriend scenario involving an ex-wife. Since Melody and Shari had really previously hung around in the same circles, many are wondering if this is a betrayal, a coincidence, or perhaps a crafty attempt to get under Melody's skin. Things grew heated when Melody finally spoke up because she's not one to remain silent. Fans were startled by the bombshell she dropped. We're discussing receipts, shade, and some shocking allegations that reveal the true nature of what's been going on behind the scenes. Before we go into the juicy facts, let's take a moment to reflect because Melody's journey didn't start here following her split from Martell. This is about loyalty, boundaries, and a lot of unresolved feelings. It's not just about Martell and Shy dating. Instead of sitting around moping, Melody controlled her feelings and tried to get her life, her business, and her peace back. She worked hard to establish a strong personal brand that showed she was more than just a reality TV star, from beginning her music career to running her own businesses. By starting her skincare business and growing her network, she truly embraced her entrepreneurial side. She was popular among fans because of her unwavering commitment to achievement and personal development, particularly among women who are familiar with the concept of beginning again. Even though Melody was trying her hardest to move on and avoid needless controversy, she was still an inspiration to her admirers, particularly ladies who understand the difficulty of starting over after a breakup. Melody expressed her desire to maintain her composure and focus on her kids, but Martell's antics continued to get in the way. From the stress of their love marriage in Huntsville to the public taunts on social media, it seemed as though he would never leave her alone. Even if the divorce was finalized, Martell's new behavior threatened to bring all of that drama back to Melody's door. However, the emotional roller coaster was far from over, and Martell wasn't exactly sitting still.
And we can do better the next day. Regardless of the mistakes we made, we just keep pushing forward and make tomorrow a better day. You know, somebody's doing good today. Hey, just always keep in mind, life is not a sprint. It's a marathon. As long as you're alive, it's a marathon. Let's continue next day.
All that while Melody was busy building her kingdom, Martell's growing friendship with Shay Whitfield from The Real Housewives of Atlanta seemed to be his primary focus. Fans started to raise their eyebrows when they started to appear together in public after the whispers that they were hanging out turned into news. In addition to their cute pictures and talks that hinted at something more, fans couldn't help but notice Martell and Sheree's chemistry and their flirtatious social media conversations that virtually yelled they were more than just friends. The timing couldn't have been more ideal, and soon everyone was discussing their relationship status. Did Shari and Martell's courtship coincide with Melody's efforts to rebuild her life after the divorce, or was Martell trying to keep her reputation intact and perhaps even irritate Melody in the eyes of strangers? This mix was confusing as well as fascinating. Shari, renowned for her bold personality and prior high-profile relationships, was unquestionably a wild card, and Martell wasn't exactly the most stable man around after dealing with his own problems recently. They became the focus of reality TV, sparking endless debates over the true nature of their relationship and the reasons for Melody's extreme drama. More painful than the rumors was the sense of betrayal.
One of my colleagues in media has a very close relationship with Martell Holt. And according to her, Martell Holt is pissed and said that he and Sheree are not together. Said that Sheree is not even his wife, that he is building a pool for Sheree and is working closely with her, pulling permits and so on and so forth with her, and that his phone was ringing off the hook all day that day, and that he is extremely.
Because she didn't want the rumors about Martell and Sheree to get in the way of her plans, Melody first tried to ignore them all. But even for someone as tough as she was, it was difficult to ignore them all. She initially thought Martell was just acting dramatic as usual, but as time passed, she started to observing some odd sensations. The turning point was when Melody realized that Martell's new relationship was about who he was dating and how it affected her. Friends were sending her hints, social media posts were starting to raise her eyebrows, and Jolie's conduct was changing. Impacted her life. It felt much more personal because Shari wasn't just any random person, but was part of the same social scene, so Melody couldn't keep quiet any longer. In addition to managing an ex's tumultuous romantic life, she also had to make amends and stand up for herself after feeling deceived. Let's just say that Melody's next move caught everyone off guard since she realized she had to take control of the situation as she started to piece everything together. After a while, she realized it was time to face the storm head-on.
In mind games, that's just what he does. Like him showing up here today with his flowers, the smile on his face, Chris charming. When we all know that he's responsible for all of the stuff happening on social media pertaining to me, that could change people's opinions about me by him giving these false narratives. He's responsible for it.
Melody had finally had enough of the whispering behind her back, the social media posts, and the speculations. The contempt she received from Whitfield, whom she thought was a friend, and her ex-boyfriend Martell in a private altercation that would have made for some amazing reality TV was what ultimately pushed her over the line. Sources claim that Melody confronted Shai in a fit of wrath and hurt, and she outlined everything, calling Shari is out for overstepping her bounds. In her usual brash way, Shari rejected Melody's worries and refused to apologize, acting as if she was overreacting. Given how recently she had been injured, Melody found it hard to think Shari would be engaged to Martell. My business with Martell is just that. My business, Shari insisted. She'd appeared to be refusing to carry on their talk, which made Melody feel more deceived than previously, not only by Martell, but also by Shari's lack of remorse toward Melody, who should have acknowledged her as a fellow woman. Even though the altercation was private, it felt like a grave betrayal and a total lack of respect. Melody, however, was not going to let this go. The situation would become severe, and she would not receive the resolution she desired from. Shari's curiosity was piqued by the entire incident, and she started to pick up on nuances she had overlooked before. Whether it was an image, a flirtatious text, or even something she heard at a shared event, she eventually found the smoking gun. There was no denying the evidence. It was the ultimate caught red-handed moment because not only were Martell and Shari implicated, but the evidence was clear. For Melody, it was. After being validated and heartbroken, Melody made the decision to speak up rather than keep quiet. She exposed her emotional reality on social media, exposing the betrayal and offering proof that made it difficult for Shari or Martell to deny what was happening. Her remarks, which conveyed her anguish and determination to protect herself, were straightforward and honest. People quickly came together in support of her, and her article swiftly went viral. Someone said that Martell's contempt is unbridled, that Melody had every right to be critical of them, and that she should have known better. They added a whole new Melody. Shari is neither the last, nor is she the first. Melody is far more worthy of this than I am, and Martell constantly shows his lack of loyalty.
How do you feel about this new relationship? If you know they're calling that. Right. To be honest with you, I don't really have any feelings about it. I really don't. I didn't control if he was talking or dating somebody while he was in a marriage. I damn sure ain't gonna be able to control dating somebody after marriage. So, it doesn't.
Nobody wished to defer to Melody's final decision. She publicly reacted shortly after Melody's message went viral, accusing Melody of being envious and resentful, and claiming that Melody's anger was more a result of her need to maintain Martell's prominence than of any real betrayal. Jo went all out, suggesting that Melody was merely fabricating drama to keep her job. Martell, however, made an effort to mediate the conflict, or at least it looked like that. Instead of resolving the matter, his speech just made things worse. He urged everyone to have a positive mindset and move on. This wasn't just talk. Things were going to get serious, and the real pyrotechnics happened when the three of them found themselves in the same room. This wasn't just an ordinary social event. It was a big deal with many people, and Messier supporters believed he was evading accountability. His attempt to maintain objectivity totally failed. Those present, Melody had finally had enough when she noticed Cher and Martell laughing together while acting as if nothing was wrong. According to witnesses, Melody came up to them immediately and talked in a stern yet calm voice, which reduced the tension in the room. Her tone pierced the courteous discourse as she cried, "Shout! How could you know exactly what you were doing, and you didn't care about the fallout? What sort of friend do you have?" Speaking like a bolt of lightning rather than flinching, Cher crossed her arms and smiled, brushing Melody's charges aside as hyperbolic hyperbole. "Melody," she continued, "you're making this much more than it needs to be. Perhaps you should stop worrying about my life and concentrate on your own." After everything they had been through together, Melody became even more incensed at this dismissiveness and turned to Martell to question him directly how he could still treat her disrespectfully. Tried to diffuse the tension by muttering something about misunderstandings and moving on, but his attempts only made things worse, and the showdown episode left a dramatic legacy. From here, where does it go? To put it mildly, the story is far from over and filled with emotion, but Melody decided to keep her attention on her own development and accomplishments rather than allowing the negative to consume her. Hide this love triangle's consequences are far from ended. Will another fight break out soon, or will Melody be able to get past the drama? Please leave your opinions in the space provided below for comments. And don't forget to click the subscribe button for future updates. This story is far from over.